Kombat 1995 is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, most infamously known for the Resident Evil film franchise. And basically, this film was revolving around three martial artists who are destined to go to this island and compete in a tournament. And this tournament is deciding the fate of the world. It's really that simple of a plot. And pretty much what you'd expect out of a video game movie, but many people regard this as the best video game movie ever made. And I wouldn't disagree with that mostly because this film is really entertaining and it's very easy and fun to watch. But that's about the best I can say about it. That's how low the standard is for a video game movie. Just process that for a second. But calling it the best video game movie ever made is not really saying that much because this film is endless in flaws. For one, the visuals are terrible. Film had an $18 million budget, but they were very dependent on CGI for a majority of the locations and the visuals in this film, including a lot of the creatures. They are all done with CGI. There is one creature in particular that looks like he came out of a PlayStation 2 game, or out of someone's ass. Like, he looks that bad. There are a lot of creatures like that in this film that just stand out to the eyes so much because the CGI is horrible. At the least, with the big budget they had, they could have used a person in a costume. They could have had someone dressing up in a costume that looked just like that. Or even using animatronics. With that big of a budget, I could have seen that being a thing, but no, this film was way too dependent on CGI. It was disappointing. Another issue I have with this film is there's really no depth to the characters. You don't really care for them at all throughout this film because they don't give any backstory to these characters. They don't really give any emotional weight to them. The most you get as far as backstory goes is the opening scene where this villain is beating the main character's brother and he points at the screen saying, "Your soul is mine. You'll be next." And then he fades into a CGI skeleton. And then you get some backstory with Johnny Cage and how the press believes his martial arts moves are fake. But that's literally it. And there's even one particular side character that's literally just taking up the screen time to propel the plot forward in some way. Like, she'll pop in and tell this main character, "You need to do this to win the fight," and he'll do it and he'll win the fight. But she literally just pops in every once in a while to propel the plot forward. And it's just such lazy screenplay writing. Like the type of narrator that would pop in during a tutorial and tell you how to fight and use the controls. But this is a film, not a video game. They are completely different things. But there are many times when this film doesn't seem to recognize that. And while this film is definitely entertaining, it's just not compelling because you don't care for the characters that they're dedicating the screen time to. And on top of that, the acting is so dry, particularly Christopher Lambert as Lord Raiden. He is literally just one note throughout this entire film. He's very robotic with how he delivers his lines. He doesn't feel like a real actor. He just feels like the type of video game character that would be there to explain everything to you and how you need to approach a situation. A character just giving exposition. He is nothing more than a forced and contrived plot device. That's it. There are differences between a video game and a movie, as I said. This story in general just feels so messy. It's very rushed, and it's heavy with exposition. Like a character just explaining something to you, like you're a small child and you haven't caught on to it yet already. And that gets very frustrating. But at the same time, I can really appreciate this film for its entertainment value. It does have really exciting action sequences, especially when they introduce Scorpio and Sub-Zero. They make for some of the most fleshed out and exciting action sequences in this film that I found myself to be really entertained by. And there are a lot of action sequences like that in this film. In general, it's very entertaining and enjoyable to watch, unlike pretty much any other video game movie where it's an actual assault to your eyes and you'd rather stare at a blank screen for 90 minutes and watch it. House of the Dead being the perfect example of that. This film has enough entertainment value to it to where I can consider it a guilty pleasure, where I could see myself watching it multiple times just for the hell of it. And it's better than any video game movie I've ever seen. And for that, I can give Mortal Kombat a solid B-. I am really looking forward to the remake of Mortal Kombat this year. I hope they can bring in better looking CGI and just in general a more fleshed out story and more complete characters with more backstory. If they can do that, I'll be really satisfied. But other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this review. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next video.